those of us who have a big creative project that we're working on often will have a goal of, I want to have this finished in 6 months. I want to have this finished by May 2026 or whatever. And then if it's a book, you're like, okay, so my book needs to be 60,000 words. And so I've got X number of days. And if I have this many days, I need to write this many words a day to reach my goal. And easy. Okay, I can easily write 300 words a day. If I write 300 words a day, I'll have a book in 6 months. That is not how the creative process works. I hate to tell you that. And ask me how I know, because I learned this through living it. When I was working on my book, I started working with my book coach, and I had already written 50,000 words, and I was just like, yeah, this is done. This is getting ready to be finished. So let's get this ball rolling, right? And first call with my coach, I cut half of those words out of the manuscript because we realized that it wasn't a part of what the book should be. And then I was like, okay, all right, I cut half the book. That means I have 30,000 words more to write. If I write a chapter a week, then I should reach the goal by the end of December. And then I was like, we were going to launch the book in February. And it was just like, reach that. And nope, that didn't happen. I set another goal. Nope, that didn't happen. Finally, I had to just surrender and be like, you know what? This book is going to be finished when this book is finished, because the creative process cannot be rushed. You are thrown so many curveballs that, like, unless you're just writing a book with AI, which please don't do, the project's not gonna, it's gonna work on its own timeline. You have to experience life during that time. There are things that need to be experienced during the process that have to be experienced before you can continue. And for example, there's a part of my book where I'm writing about learning to feel my feelings and that my feelings are valid and that sort of thing. And I was doing a lot of gaslighting of myself about the things I was writing about, especially when you're writing a memoir. You gaslight yourself a lot. You're like, was it really that bad? Or am I remembering this correctly? You're really worried that you're just making it all up, like your experience of life. I think that's true for a lot of people. Just, you're making up the struggles that you're having, then it's really not so bad, and you really should feel fine. It's really internalized ableism is what it is. But I was gaslighting myself a lot about that particular topic. And so something presented itself in my life as I was writing that chapter that proved to me that I wasn't gaslighting myself and that it was really true. And it did really happen in the way that I remember it. I'm being intentionally vague. I'm sorry. There's other people involved in this situation. So this traumatic thing happened while I was writing about similar things to prove that it's true, to prove that I can confidently write about this experience of mine. And as painful as it was, it did teach me a lot of lessons that then I could use in my book. But that experience set me back. I had to process all of the emotions from that experience. I had to get through the anxiety. I had to spend a lot of time working on my mental health to get back to a place where I could be working on the book, but two, be like a functional human being. So, the creative process takes time, and you have to allow that project to unfold in the way that it's meant to unfold. And that as long as you're consistently working on it day in and day out, that it will get finished, but you don't often have control over when that is. So I've had clients who start working with me and we work on a 6-month term, and they're like, okay, I want to finish this in this 6 months. Like, that's their goal. And I'm like, well, sorry to tell you that I can't guarantee you're going to finish anything in 6 months, because we don't know what's going to happen. And we can try for it. We can set a schedule, and then we can hold you accountable, make sure you're working on it. But you have to allow for life. You have to allow for experimentation and time for play and space and time for your subconscious to chew on it for a little while. That is part of the process, and it is a completely unpredictable part of the process. If you do want to work with me and you want to help on your creative project, I'm sorry to tell you that I cannot guarantee your project will be done in 6 months. You will make incredible growth and your project will get done. These things have a timeline of their own, but as long as you're working on your project day in and day out, you're committed to it, you stick with it, you don't give up, you'll get the results you want. You will end up with that thing created, but you just might need that support to keep you going through those times when it gets really hard. And I would love to help you with that. As a creative midwife and coach, I can help you through that process, help you through the emotions with compassion and gentleness and support, and keep you moving forward towards your goal.